G'day viewers, Retro Man here and welcome to the 80s Show. Now just recently I unboxed a movie that I had kicking around in my collection for about 20 years. And guys, it was just time to take that wrapping off. And that movie, of course, was Offbeat, starring Judge Reinhold and Meg Tilly. It was a comedy from 1986. And guys, this was a film that kind of flopped at the box office, but Roger Ebert, that esteemed critic from America, he really felt that this was a fantastic film, and he gave it 3.5 out of 4 stars when it was released, which is a really, that's a spectacular rating from Roger Ebert, and he felt that it was one of the funniest comedies of 1986. He also loved the performances by Judge Reinhold and Meg Tilly. So guys, I watched this the other night. I think I saw this, the last time would have been, sometime in the late 80s there. I hired this on video. And I think the problem with this film really was its marketing. I mean, I said that it flopped, and it was kind of marketed as a police academy film in some ways. It's got this poster here with Judge Reinhold lifting Meg Tilly. They're in police uniforms, and there's all this lunacy going on in the background, and you kind of go, okay, this is a Police Academy clone. It kind of rolled out when those Police Academy sequels were happening, and I think it was kind of just brushed aside, because what this film really is, it's more than just a Police Academy comedy. This film is actually a sweet little romantic comedy with a police theme. And guys, what I will say is they had such a hard time marketing this, and they did actually do a big poster where Judge Reinhold is kind of in a phone booth a la, Clark Kent and Superman, and he's kind of in there in his trousers, and he's got this shirt, and he's kind of trying to bust open the shirt, and what you can see is the police clothes on the inside. So in some ways, they tried to even market this as almost a superhero film. I mean, it came with this tagline here, the real life adventures of a make-believe cop. And I mean, in some ways that does encapsulate part of it. And I think that, tagline kind of works with that superhero type poster. But, Judge Reinhold does get involved in some police procedurals, and things don't go that well for him. There's a quirky little moment where he has to buy a gun. But guys, overall, Offbeat is entertaining, and it's definitely worth your time. So guys, I'll tell you the premise for this film. And we have Judge Reinhold. He's a librarian, and guys, he's sort of, aimless a little bit. He doesn't know what he's going to do with his life, except that he enjoys hanging out in the library. And a buddy of his is a cop, one of New York's finest. And one day he actually is riding his bike, Judge Reinhold, and he kind of stuffs up a stakeout for his police buddy. And as a result, his police buddy says to him, "Look here, Judge, there's a big charity police concert coming up where these, the policemen have to sing and dance and get involved in this charity concert. And I don't really want to do that, and I think you owe me a favour for messing up my stakeout, and how about you take my place?" So what happens, guys, is Judge gets dressed up as a police officer and kind of goes to this thing where they're, rehearsing for a police charity performance. And he gets mixed up in all this song and dance. And along the way, he falls in love with Meg Tilly, who is a very stern police officer. And guys, a really wonderful romance develops between the two amongst all this comedy and mistaken identity with Judge Reinhold in a police uniform. And guys, Cleveland Derricks, he's not a name you remember, but he's playing Judge Reinhold's police officer buddy in this. And he's not exactly Eddie Murphy, but I mean, he pops up throughout, and he's really part of the thrust of that plot, being, Reinhold's friend. And he's kind of a little bit concerned that Reinhold's using his name and developing a bit of a reputation as he gets up to all sorts of mischief doing his song and dance routines for this police charity. So guys, there's an interesting little subplot there of mistaken identity, and I think Cleveland, he's not the most famous actor. I'm sure many people have never heard of him, but he does a fine little role in this too. So guys, it has those elements of mistaken identity, it has those romantic entanglements, it has, a few bursts of lunacy, and I think it's actually not a bad film. I'm not so sure I would go and give it 3.5 out of 4 like Ebert and say it was one of the funniest films of 1986, but this is a very sweet, tender film at its heart, and it does contain some great performances, so it's definitely worth your time. I think it's an overlooked 80s film, and I think if you probably asked Judge Reinhold, he would have to be pretty proud of this one, because it offered him a starring role and it was something a little different. But Ebert especially praised Meg Tilly in this, and she does deserve praise. Around that time she was just becoming a big actress. She just received a Best Supporting Actress Oscar nomination for a film called Agnes of God, and this was her follow-up film. This kind of flopped, but she did kick around. She did a Rob Lowe movie called Masquerade. That was a flashy role, and Meg was very good in that. But, she is good in this film Offbeat, and I think Ebert at the time was really captivated by this relationship at the film's core. So guys, what I really like about Offbeat is that it has a great supporting cast, and we get Joe Montana. He's actually playing a really gruff police officer who tries to get involved in these song and dance things with Reinhold, but he kind of, he's had a relationship in the past with Meg Tilly. He's bearded, he's gruff. He's very standoffish with Reinhold because he thinks that Tilly has eyes for Reinhold, which she has, and Montana's not happy about that, and I think he does really well in his gruff role. And guys, we also get James Tolkien, the bald-headed guy, Strickland from Back to the Future. He was also great in Top Gun and Masters of the Universe. Tolkien is in this too, and he plays a police officer buddy of Montana's, and he has a very, very confronting scene in a diner where he has a lot to say to Meg Tilly. In fact, he insults her in a very grand way, but Tilly handles it beautifully and kind of brushes him off. So guys, if you're a Tolkien fan, this is a very interesting film. And also Julie Bavasso, who is John Travolta's mum in Saturday Night Fever and Staying Alive. She plays Meg Tilly's mum in this film, which was really great to see. And even another fun character actor turns up. I'm sure you know him. Yes, the one and only Harvey Keitel pops up in the film's finale as a robber, as does Fred Gwynn, Herman Monster, as the chief of police. So it's great having those actors pop up, and this film is just fun to watch. And I really found this film rather endearing. You're expecting to be getting, a broad comedy, but there's some really interesting character pieces to this, and some nice moments along the way. So guys, if you have it laying around in your collection and you haven't watched it, definitely check it out. So that's Offbeat, And if you like Judge Reinhold and this film, tell me in the comments below if you're a Meg Tilly fan. Man, share your Meg Tilly memories. I mean, she's a bit of an unsung hero. And guys, this is a really cool film. So as always, you'll never know what's going to pop up on the 80s show, just like Offbeat. And if it's good enough for Roger Ebert and it's good enough for Retro Man, this movie should be good enough for you. So guys, it was fun talking about this one, and you will see me again sooner rather than later. Until next time, this is Retro Man, living the dream, 80s style. Stay gold.
Thanks for watching. Retro Man will return faster than a boomerang and just as arresting as this duo in Offbeat. Please subscribe and good night, viewers.